lesson 3. So our last method is the method of pairwise comparisons. This is where we're going to compare everybody head to head. And so this is kind of like a tournament where every team is going to play every other team. So here's some key ideas. So each candidate goes head to head against every other candidate, and the winner gets a point. If there's a tie, then they both get half a point. When we're all done playing everybody, the winner is the candidate with the most points. And just so you know that getting ties between people are very common. Alright, so let's do our first example. Again, on the Math Club election. We love this example. So we're going to compare everybody head to head. So we need to compare A versus B, A versus C, A versus D. Then B versus C, B versus D, and then C versus D. So let's compare A versus B. And if we have another letter that we start off with, like say C right here, you can only vote for A or B. So we got to find out who they would vote for next. So going vertically, these 14 would go to A. These 10 would go to, I'm only looking at A or B, goes to B. These are only going to go to A or B, B. Only A or B. Only A or B. So 23. So B wins, so B gets a point. So B equals 1, they get a point. Now A versus C. So I got to forget B completely. A gets 14, 10 go to C, these 8 go to C, these 4 go to C, and this 1 goes to C. So they got 23, so they win, so C gets a point. Now let's go A versus D. So A gets 14, D gets 10, D gets 8, not looking good for A, D gets 4, D gets 1. Wow. So D gets a point. Alright, so everybody beat A. Wow. Now let's go B versus C. So B gets 14, C gets 10, B or C, C gets 8, B or C, B gets 4, oh it's going to be close, B or C, C gets 1. So C pulls off with 19, so C gets a point. Now I'm comparing B versus D. B gets 14, B gets 10, D gets 8, B gets 4, okay we're done right there, so B gets a point. C versus D now. So C gets 14, C gets 10, D gets 8, D gets 4, C gets 1. So, C won by a landslide. Alright, C gets 1. So now, to determine who the winner is, overall tally, A won 0 times, B won once, twice, C won 1, 2, 3 times, D won once. So the winner is C. They won the most head-to-head competitions. So we've got this example here. It's called the LA Extras Draft Choice Election. The idea here is we have 5 players who are trying to get into the NBA for this imaginary team, and these are coaches, assistant coaches, scouts, owners, managers, general managers who are voting for these different players and who they think should be on the team. And so let's use the pairwise comparison method to figure out who should be on the team and who shouldn't be. So I need to come up with all the different ways that we need to play. So let's go. A versus B, A versus C, A versus D, A versus E. Alright, so now B has already played A, B doesn't play itself, so B plays C, B plays D, B plays E. Alright, now C plays D, C plays E. And the last one, D plays E. If you notice, there's a pattern to this. There's 5 players, but A can't play itself, so they start off with 4 teams. 3, 2, 1. So 4 games, 3 games, 2 games, 1. It's a little countdown. That's how you can tell if you did all of them. So let's compare everybody. It's going to take a little bit. So A versus B. So who wins? A. Alright, so what happens in the second one is what happens if we get rid of player C. Okay, C didn't think they had a chance, C's gone. So let's get rid of C. So A, D, B, E, B, A. So here we are on page 2, and the ideas of the independence of irrelevant alternatives criterion, or IIA. If we have someone who wins an election, and then we decide to do a recount because someone withdraws or is disqualified, and we redo it, then that person who withdrew or was disqualified, who was irrelevant to what was going on, well, the original winner should be the winner. It's one thing if we kick out the winner the first time and then redo it, we should get someone different. So in class, I made a joke here where I was going to have the students add up 1 to 99. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 all the way up to 99. But I really was going to have them do this. The idea was, it was a trick or a story based on a mathematician, Carl Friedrich Gauss, who had done this really, really quick. And so the idea was 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus all the way up to 98 plus 99. It equaled some number, and he didn't know what that was. And so if we wrote this backwards, 99 plus 98 plus 97 plus all the way down to 2 plus 1, that equaled the same number. We just wrote it backwards. And so 1 plus 99 is 100. 2 plus 98, 100. 3 plus 97, 100. 98 plus 2, 100. 99 plus 1, 100. N plus n, 2n. So what do all these add up to? Well, we know that there's 99 of them. So 99 times 100 equaled 2n. Well, I want to know n, the number, not twice as many of them. So if I divide by 2, 99 times 100, and then cut it in half, equals what all that adds up to. So that's super, super quick. So that's clearly 4,950. Okay, so how can we do that quickly? Well, we have this formula now because of him. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus all the way up to some number. Well, you take that number, so in this case it was 99. You add 1 to it, see the 100, and divide by 2. And that's where L is that last number. So how can we use that in what we're doing now with pairwise comparisons? We have a similar thing. We have so many candidates that are in our comparisons. So we can change this for our purposes. So n minus 1 times n over 2. This will tell us how many comparisons we're going to have. That's how many games we're going to have within our tournament. So we're going to use this formula. So how many comparisons would occur if you have 12 candidates in the race? Well, it's 1 less times 12 over 2. Quick way to do that, those reduce. 11 times 6 equals 66. How many would happen if it was 20? One less is 19 times 20 over 2. That reduces quickly. 19 times 10 equals 190. So we will use this to determine how many comparisons we have here. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 of those. We can use that. We could use that formula to figure out exactly how many. This one right there. And that concludes lesson 4.